Alright, hi there guys. Today we're going to be looking at surface developments, and the example that I'm going to be demonstrating is a truncated hexagonal pyramid. So we know that it's a hexagon, so a hexagon has 6 sides. Here's the example. This one here at the top. The hexagon, side, front, and a development. All going to be done today and explained. Alright, so let's get into it. So we know that it's given to us that the side is going to be 30 millimeters for sides. So I'm going to just draw a line, and I'm going to find 30 millimeters from that line. So that's about here. Good. Now what do you need to know in creating this? You're going to have to use a circle. So I'm going to actually open my compass to a radius of 30 millimeters. From my 30 millimeter point, I'm going to my 30 millimeter points. I'm going to find 2 arches. Those arches will tell me that's the middle there of my circle. At that point then, I'm going to form a circle which passes through those 2 points. Then from there, let me just adjust this camera so you guys can see what I'm doing. I know the construction is really light, but I'll try to darken it. Just bear with me. That's a point there. That's a point there. So what we are doing is we are cutting the circle into 6 points, 6 pieces, and these 6 pieces are the points where I'll be able to finish draw my hexagon. So we already knew the base point, so I'll draw that in, and then now I'm going to attempt to join the other points to complete my hexagon shape. Good. Now that's my shape there. Just adjust my camera so you guys can see. Alright. So that's my hexagon shape. From there I'm going to proceed to join the side elevation. For this one I'll give myself a gap of 1.5. Draw my baseline, and what I'm going to do is find my height first, and my height is going to be 70. So the shape goes up to 70. So from my baseline, my offset 70. This is my apex point. So somewhere here, it's my apex. I don't know exactly where yet. I'm going to take points from my hexagon and pull them up to the baseline. So 4 points are going to go up. And I'm going to use my middle point as a reference guide as to tell me where my apex is. My middle point will be the point which I use to start my circle. So that's my apex. and my cut is a 45-degree slope. The question doesn't actually state where to put the cut, so it's left to my discretion. So I just average a point and I cut my shape. Just where I decide to cut my shape. There. So what I'm going to do now is actually try to complete my plan by connecting the diagonal opposites. Right? So that and this connect the only horizontal line, and that's it. So my plan as a structure is complete, and my structure for my side view is complete. Now I'm going to highlight some points on the slope, the truncated points. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. These points are very important. From these points I'm going to project lines downward to intersect with the plan. The mind should be able to see that. Good. Just go in, zoom in. Alright, so now we have some points on the plan. So I'm going to highlight where these points intersect. This first point intersects here within the plan. Second point intersects at 2 points within the plan. Third point intersects at 2 points again within the plan. And the fourth point intersects at 1 point. So those are the dots. If you've been following so far, we connect the dots. To save time, I'm going to connect these dots straight with my 5B pencil. No, so that's how our cut would look on plan, and we can just darken the whole shape. Now we are here. So this is essentially how our plan would look for our truncated hexagon. Okay, now we start to darken our side view. Sorry, make side elevation, and notice I've darkened my lines up to the truncated cut because this is our shape. That's our shape. So this is how it should look like. Alright. So now we are going to move on to drawing a second elevation. Now for this, we need to create what I like to call an information line, and we like to make things consistent. So the first gap is a gap of 1.5. We come to the very edge of our elevation and we create the same gap, 1.5, make things consistent. From that point, we are drawing a vertical line, interacting with the horizontal line, which is our base line. And at that same point too, we are going to draw down a diagonal line. We name this diagonal line information line. Now we project points from our plan towards our diagonal line and let them intersect. I like to start off with the main points of the shape. And at our diagonal line, we send our points in an upward direction at 90 degrees till they hit our base line. From our apex line, which gave us the height for our shape, we actually extend that line because we are placing another elevation to our right. So we found the apex on this elevation. That's right here. Right? Zoom out so you guys can have a bigger grasp of the overall perspective. So now I'm connecting my points on the plan that I connected, that I sent to my information line, and I projected up 90 degrees from my baseline. I then connect those points to the apex. So they're essentially only 3 points, and they're all connected to my apex already. So I move to the next stage. Now, let me bring this in closer. Turn down the light a bit. Alright, just move the light around so that the glare doesn't. Right. Now, these same 4 points that I highlighted on the truncated slope, I project these points towards my elevation, let them intersect my elevation. They intersect at 1, 2, 3, 4 points, crossing my elevation. Now, I'm going to come back and find these inner points from the plan, and I'm going to send them to the information line and up 90 degrees to the elevation to intersect with those points from the truncated slope. So let's start with the lowest point, second lowest, midpoint, highest point. Now let's send them up. That's 1 point, it's going in, 2 points going in, 3 points going in, 4th point going in. Now, this point here is simple. What we're going to be doing is we are going to be finding the points now and connecting and making some dots. So this is a point here, this is our highest point, you know, that's a single point, and our lowest point, that's a single point. Our midpoint hits our elevation at 2 points. Our second point, hits our elevation at 2 points, and our third point does the same. Hits the elevation at 2 points. Then it goes back down to the low point. So now we'll be actually darkening the shape. And first, I'm going to connect the dots. Now, I'm going to outline the shape. put in our baseline. So this is our second shape. Sorry, second elevation. This is our first elevation, our second elevation, and then this is our plan. Let me just, you guys see that now in its totality. Now, from here, we're going to be creating a development. So at this point, we have enough information that we can start to create our development. First, we're going to open our compass, point it at the apex of the second elevation. Let's label these elevations now, so that while referring to them, we don't get confused. So this, the low one, is our plan at the bottom. That's our side. This is our front. Now, essentially what a development is we are going to be creating the impression of each side, so that if I were to cut this from off the paper and fold it back, I'll get about the exact pyramid. I will actually build a pyramid with the truncated cut. So that's what development is. Think of it as a box, a cardboard box, that when it's actually built in the factory, it's one piece of sheet, one sheet of cardboard, and it has different cuts that when you fold them, and it has creases that when you fold these creases together, they actually create the actual box. So it's unfolding the box, and it's one piece of material which has different points to fold. That's what we are going to be doing here. So that's what's meant by development. Alright, so getting back to the development, I open my compass to the apex and to the end of where the baseline, and to the point where the baseline meets the diagonal line. And I take this here, scribe, and make an arc. Now, first thing we do. Second thing we do, we take one side, get the distance for one side. That's all we need, one side of our hexagon. And remember that our hexagon was 30 millimeters per side. So we scribe on this curve 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right. From there, while we are making all our curves, we put back our compass at the apex, and we pick up the last point. We are going to be looking for 4 points from our truncated edge. 1, 2, 3, 4. These points manifest themselves here. 1, 2, 3, 4. We pick up these points, and at these points we make a curve which is parallel to our first curve. We make parallel curves. So that's what we do. There's 2 that are in, the third, and then the 4th point. So at the end of this stage, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parallel curve lines. Now, let's connect our 6 points to the apex, which will then give us each side of the hexagon. Alright, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At this stage it looks like 6 slices of pizza. that's going to change because we are going to square off, straighten up these edges so that you'll be able to see. So I'm coming back to each point and I'm using my straight edge to connect my points to each other. Alright, I have the profile of my points. Now, we are going to be connecting these. So let's give ourselves a point where to start this. So this development starts at A, which is at the lowest point. So we start our development at our low point. Let's make a dot there to represent the lowest point. And the development goes up 1 point. So we go up to the next band, 1. And while it's there, it goes up again to another point. And then from there it goes up again to the apex. And then it goes in a downward direction. Down 1, down 2, down, back to its lowest point. So that's our development there, our path. So I'm going to darken in. I'm going to actually connect the points to the base. And then I'm going to connect the points to each other. Right, so this is our development here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you were to cut around these points around here, you would actually get back our shape. But something is missing. What we're missing now is the final piece, which is the base. So we need to construct the actual outline at one of these 6 points. I decided to choose, I don't know, I'll choose the second point. Once again, we know that to get our plan, we use a 30 millimeter distance. So I open my compass to 30 millimeters. Alright. Those are 2 points there, points 2 and 3. Yeah, I got my center of my circle. So I put my point, my center point where it should be. And I make a circle touching 2 points on sides 2. So it's actually going through points 2 and 3. Yeah, and then I use the same 30 millimeters, and I go around my circle and cut. And I should get 6 points when I cut this circle. These are my 6 points to create my hexagon. And this hexagon is then attached to the rest of the development. Now this hexagon is just going to be a pure hexagon. The plan is already here. You don't need to draw the plan in the true shape because the plan would eventually form back itself once the shape is assembled. So that's it. And what I like to do is to just highlight this. So I'm just going to take my pencil and just shade it slightly. Shade it. Once I've done that, then I can call it complete. I always refer to this as shading. It's actually hatching. You choose the direction that best suits you in doing this part. Yeah, so that's it. So now, let me just label this. This is now development. Call this a development. Of truncated hexagonal pyramid. Just look at it before we shut off the camera. That's it there.